Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi announcing she will not run for re-election next year, ending a nearly 40-year career in Congress. Let's get right to Aishah Hasnie. She's live on Capitol Hill with more on that for us. Hello, Aishah.
Sandra, the question now is who follows her? Who's next when it comes to retirements here on Capitol Hill? Nancy Pelosi making this announcement on X by posting this video here as a goodbye to San Francisco, her district. She doesn't give a clear answer, a clear reason as to why she is stepping aside now, but everybody knows she's part of this old guard in the Democratic Party that's been hanging on to power for decades now. Well, that all might be changing after the big Mamdani win Tuesday night. Progressive AOC made it very clear the establishment needs to get out of their way. The very next day, Senator Bernie Sanders crashed Chuck Schumer's press conference and criticized leadership for not supporting Mamdani. And now, yet another progressive is saying Tuesday should be a warning to Schumer, who, by the way, did not endorse Zohran Mamdani for mayor. Watch this.
Is it time for him to maybe take a note from Speaker Nancy Pelosi?
I think everybody has to understand what the mood in the country is, that people want fighters.
Should Tuesday's election be a warning to him that he's got to...
Absolutely. I think it should be a warning. Just caving to the easiest road, and not getting a victory, not using our power for what we need to use is I think, is not going to be acceptable.
So you're not calling on Schumer to step aside right now?
I got to go.
She had to go. She didn't want to answer that question, Sandra. Look, Republicans are trying to seize Tuesday's election night wins to attack Democrats and say that it's a party of the far left, which really is leaving these moderates, these centrists, kind of on an island by themselves where they have to fight the messaging from the GOP and also now from progressives. Sandra?
Quite a few developments there. Aishah Hasnie on the Hill for us. Thank you, Aishah. John?
All right, let's bring in Jayme Franklin, founder and CEO of the Conservateur and co-host of the Sincerely American podcast. Want to get your thoughts on Nancy Pelosi because you grew up in San Francisco. So what do you think about her retirement?
So, okay, I'll say this. First of all, we've had to endure these No Kings protests for the last few weeks. Meanwhile, this woman's been in Congress for, I think, almost 40 years now. And if there was a face for term limits, it would be Nancy Pelosi, because I think a lot of Americans are sick and tired of these career bureaucrats working decades in Washington, increasing their wealth and making millions upon millions of dollars. I know Nancy's been hit on that stock trading stuff. So I think people are sick of that type of corruption. And I think, I never like criticizing people's age ever, but I will say I think we have an overrepresentation of older people in Congress right now, and I think people on both sides of the aisles would like to see some newer and fresh faces.
Well, I think people like Mamdani and AOC would agree with you on that front, though their politics are slightly different. So Nancy Pelosi, literally on her way out the door, said this about President Trump over the weekend. Listen here.
He's just a vile creature. The worst thing on the face of the earth. But anyway.
You think he's the worst thing on the face of the earth?
I do, yeah. I do.
Worst thing on the face of the earth. Talked like that after the president was almost assassinated twice. Last night, Hakeem Jeffries was on with Bret Baier, and Bret asked Hakeem if he supports what Pelosi said about Trump. Listen to this epic word salad.
Nancy Pelosi, Speaker Emerita Pelosi, is a legendary figure, a hero. She's done so much for so many over so many years. She speaks powerfully, she speaks authentically, she speaks eloquently on issues of importance to the American people.
Now, that was a world-class duck.
Yeah, talk about a pivot on that. And look, they hit Trump all the time for being divisive. But look at what Nancy Pelosi is saying behind the scenes, and not behind the scenes, actually right on camera in front of everyone. And this is causing so much toxicity and divisiveness in our culture. And I know President Trump was also excited that Nancy Pelosi is retiring, but I'll tell you this, John. I think before we start celebrating, no one's talking about this yet, California State Senator Scott Wiener is waiting in the wings right now to take over Nancy Pelosi's spot. And let me tell you, he makes Nancy Pelosi look like a moderate.
I want to ask you about the Turning Point USA event last night at Auburn, because it was, we saw Eric Trump called up his father. President Trump came in via the phone. But Senator Tommy Tuberville had a very interesting message that fits in with what you said just a moment ago about a younger generation beginning to take over in America. Listen to what he said.
It's going to be your generation. And I'm telling you, as a so-called politician, politicians aren't going to help you. It's going to be your generation that's going to get this mess straightened out.
You know, it's interesting to see at these big Turning Point USA events how many members of Gen Z are beginning to trend conservative. But then at the same time, we saw many members of Gen Z elect a socialist for mayor of New York City. There's still an epic divide in this country.
Well, I think it's, first of all, Charlie, I think, is even greater in death than he was alive. It's just incredible to see his legacy carried on this way. And he inspired so many young men in particular, because he wasn't just a political talking head or a pundit. He was truly a role model. He was an incredible husband, an incredible father. He was a devout Christian, and he was truly a go-getter, a business leader. And so that's how he changed so many young men. But what you just mentioned, we are having a crisis right now with young women. Over 80% of Gen Z women went for Mamdani in New York in this last election. And this is where I think Erica Kirk can be just incredible in this role, carrying on Charlie's legacy, but for women. And I just don't think there's anyone better to do it.
It's interesting what you said about Charlie's bigger in death than he was in life, because Erica Kirk, in her conversation with Jesse Waters last night, said that if Charlie had the choice to come back from heaven, but if he did, all of the progress since his death would be undone, he'd choose to stay in heaven and watch it grow.
That's amazing. And she wants to go to heaven with him one day, too.
I'm sure she will.
Yes,
all
she
right.
will.
We all will at some point.
Yes.
Jayme, good to see you. Thanks. Sandra?
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.